Today is Wednesday, August 27th, 2025, and it is Yom Revi'i, fourth day of the week, third day of El, 3 5785. The Torah portion is Shoftim, and it is the fourth day of Rabi al-Awwal on the Islamic calendar, the year 1447 in the Hijri calendar. Rabi al-Awwal is the third month in the Islamic calendar, and it appears at different times throughout the year. Because of the nature of the Islamic calendar, there's a drift. It goes, the months show up at different times of the year, but this time it's the third month, and the fact that I started studying the Islamic calendar at this time is really interesting according to the dispensations of the way this calendar is set up, because there's different dispensations in which the different months of the year start the calendar. For 8 years, the last month of every season started the calendar. For 4 years, and it halved. For 4 years, it was the first month of every season, and then in this final, or this is basically the final season, which is a 2-year phase, it's the middle, and the middle is the second month. Let's say the first month would be Nisan, the second month would be ER, and the third would be Sivan, and the same thing. You go Tammuz, Av, and El. So it started. This Islamic analysis started in Av, which is Safar. The second month, and that's when this calendar starts. So it's really the first reckoning. So that's really interesting. And this is the PL-89 calendar. This is the PL-89 calendar. It's a lunar and solar calendar that is other calendars as well. Now it's an Islamic calendar as well. It's a Daf Yomi calendar, a Julian calendar, and it is a gematriatic thought calendar. And what it is gathering all thought, and thought translated into numbers is basically gematria. That's what gematria is. Words that are expressed in numbers, and thoughts can turn into words. So thoughts become words become numbers, and we skip the word part. You can just go, thoughts can directly come to numbers, because numbers and words are interchangeable. So what I found is basically there's different phases in it, and so now it's a phase where all of the numbers 1 through 1,000, and more than 1,000 too if it's applicable, but generally starting off with 1 to 1,000, the gematria of every word should be known and should be rooted in somewhere in this calendar. And so it's good to have an order system. Three-letter Hebrew words like shorashim, the root words, would be a good place to start. So today it's August 27th. So on this calendar it would correspond to box number 29. So we should announce that the numbers for today are 29 and 40. 29 represents August 27th, or the 27th of any month in this season. It could be, if it was 27 Safar, it was right here. 27th of Av, it's right here. 27th of, now it's August, so it's right here, 29. And the next is the lunar calendar, which should be the third day of Elul, and which would be box 40. The first day is always, in Elul or September, always has to be 23. In this case, El was 23 also. The first day is always here. First, second, third. But it's the fourth day of Rabi al-Awwal, because on the 30th day of Av, when it was Rosh Chodesh El, it was the 30th day of Av. In the Islamic calendar, it didn't have 30 days. It went straight into Rabi al-Awwal on Sunday, which was August 25th, it went straight into the month. It didn't have a third. So it was the same day as the Hebrew throughout the month of Av. Av was Safar, same days. But in Elul, the Islamic went ahead. So one way of looking at it is, there's one more rule that should be mentioned, is that any box number is from 1 to 40. And it goes by 8 plus 9 plus 8 plus 9, and it cuts off at 40. Now, any number in any box, if you add 40, add 40, add 40, add 40, any of those numbers are all considered the same number. And that's what allows it to have you to have a patriarch, a father of all the numbers, and all his descendants are just 40s after that. And that goes well with an idea I've heard expressed that in one opinion, in Jewish thought, a generation is 40 years. So that makes sense. It says, I think it brought it from the Psalm 95, which said, "For 40 years I was angry with this generation." So it was correlated that 40 years is a generation, talking about the generation of the wilderness. But anyway, so 40 is a generation, and so let's say today is 29, right? So 69 is its son, right? Because it's 40, it's one generation. So 29 is 69. 69 is 109. 109 is 149. 149 is 949. So you see how that works. Now, when I'm going through a good way of seeing this is that any number that you see in the davening or you see in learning, if it's Gemara, Talmudic, Aramaic, it doesn't matter. If it's written in Hebrew letters or English letters, it gets translated into a number and it's rooted right here. Any name of a person, any time on the clock, any amount of calories on the back of an ingredients label, any number of anything that can be thought about. Just think about that. A credit card number, social security number, phone number, address, calories, weight, electric bill, any price of any object, any metric at all. And that includes the siddur as well, when you're davening. How about learning the Torah? Do we believe that everything is in the Torah? How do you use that to mine out data for anything? If every single thing is in the Torah, there's only a certain amount of words there. It's Genesis through Deuteronomy. There's a limited amount of words and a limited amount of ideas. Certainly, it doesn't have any words of technology or science or words that you have. It's very limited. How do you need to have a coding and decoding system? And that's what this is. This is meant to help decipher that. So, just looking through the davening, let's say 29. I didn't see many in that generation, but 40 is plenty. For example, let's say the word, I was going through in the davening, there's a prayer called Baruch She'amar. Baruch She'amar v'haya ha'olam Baruch Hu. Blessed is the one who said, and the world was. Blessed is he, etc. And it comes to some words that say, Baruch, blessed, Mishalem Sachar Tov. Blessed is the one who pays good reward. And the word Sachar has a numerical value in regular Hebrew gematria of 520. Okay, 520, because Shin is 300, Resh is 200, and Kaf is 20. It's 520. So 520 in the PL-89 reduces, it's a descendant, because it has a father. Its father is 480. But 480 has a father too. 480's father is 440. And 440's father is 400. And 400's father is 360. And so forth. 320 is 280. Is 80. Those are all the fathers. That's the whole descendant line. So that means that 80 is a great-grandfather of 520. So why do I say 80? 80 is the son of 40. So today is 40. So I'm looking in the siddur. I'm not sure which came first. If I had this, if I knew that today was a 40 and my eyes are already open for something like that, it could be. Sometimes it's not conscious. Sometimes it is. I think today it was. I was on the lookout for something that was going to be a descendant of 40. And the key is if you know all of the descendants of 40 and all of their gematrias, they're all in one gematriatic family. So that means that 5, so if I said Leolam Va'ed, that's also very famous, very common in davening. You see the word Ayin Daled, Va'ed, or Vav Ayin Daled, you see that plenty. You see that, and you see that Leolam Va'ed, Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Leolam Va'ed. You have Melech Olam Va'ed, Avdu Goyim Artzo. It comes up a lot. So the Ed is equal to 80, and 80 is in the same family as 520, because you add 40s, you'll get there. The Olam Chazdo Ve'ad. How about Ve'ad? Same thing, same letters. Ki Tov Adonai Leolam Chazdo Ve'ad, and until. It's not Va'ed, but and until. Ve'ad Dor V'dor Emunato. Okay. I think you get the idea now, but that happens a lot. And there's many derivatives of 40. In the words, which is Mash'ain Kain, which is not the case by 69, by 29. You don't see, I was looking for it, I don't see a lot of members of words that are in the family of 29. 29, the son is 69, or the daughter, okay, is 69. But wait a minute, Avinu equals 69. That means that Avinu is a son of 29. But I found one today in Mincha time, in the Sephardic Siddur. They say Psalm 84. Psalm 84, which is equal to Vietnam in English gematria, which came up this morning. And there's a word in Psalm 84 in Hebrew that is Maginenu, our shield, our protector. Maginenu re'e Elohim ve'habet pnei Mashiachecha. Our protector, see God and look to the face of your anointed. And Maginenu, interestingly enough, is in the family of 29. Because 29 plus 40 is 69, 69 plus 40 is 109, and 109 plus 40 is 149. So I noticed that, and I think my eyes were open because I was looking for it, I couldn't find it. I couldn't find a descendant. So as of today, we have Maginenu. That means if I know 149, I could just go 349, I can go 549, I can go 749. Any odd number of hundreds with 49 will be in the family of 29, starting from 149. 149, 349, 549, 749, 949. 949 equals Netanel ben Suar. So Netanel ben Suar is in the family of 29. So I think that you might get the idea of how this is supposed to work. Now, this is not just for the siddur, this is for any life event. So if I need to pick up checks today, the English gematria of checks, is 49. And if I saw someone named Carol, I did today, the same day I got checks, Carol equals 49 as well. So how is it interesting that I picked up checks on the day that I saw someone named Carol, and they both equal 49 in the English gematria cipher? That's interesting enough on its own, but to see that it happened today and to place it on the calendar is even more interesting. Because, like I said before, today is 40, but the rule is that any of the purple and violet can merge into one cell. That means today is really 9. And what's the son of 9? 49. So I got some checks today, that's true. And I saw someone named Carol today, true. Both don't happen every day, both rarely happen. They happen once, a month, or once every much rarer. Checks for sure, much rarer, but to see someone in Carol maybe once every couple months. But for them to happen on the same day, those two words having the same numerical value, and them being rooted on today on this calendar, where El-3 or 4 Rabi al-Awwal comes in the same rectangle, have the numerical value of those things that happen today that rarely ever happen. I'm very interested in understanding how that works. How does that happen? Do you think I made that up? Do you think I made that all happen? I didn't make that happen. I'm tuning into something that I think is already there, that anyone can tune into, that everything can be seen as scripted if you understand the numbers. And this calendar is a way of tuning into that. What I just described right now, I wish somebody would even try to explain how that all lines up. It can't be that I'm reading into it, because I'm just recording things that happened so-called randomly. Random. Not random. That's my whole point. It's not random, it's planned. And if it's planned, then there's a mathematical formula to it. And if there's a mathematical formula to it, can we tap into it? Those are examples of how the Gematria thought calendar should be used for prayer, for learning, for understanding, and for the theory of everything that mathematicians and quantum physicists and philosophers are trying to develop. This is, you can say, my own version of a theory of everything based on Torah and mathematics.